All right, welcome back to Ultimates. We're doing issue 10. This is more of a Captain America and Human Torch focused. Hawkeye joins them in the end. Or not in the end, he joins the entire time. But as we see through this cover, it's fighting the Red Skulls. Red Skull gang, kind of like the Red Hood gang, you know. Here, let's hop in. Accessing memory. And we see Hitler get burned to a crisp by Jim Hammond. I thought Hitler killed himself. Nope, that was just a cover story. The Soviets were threatening a superhuman arms race, screaming about illegal deployment overseas. Back then, we had a thing called politics, which we don't have now because everybody is controlled by the maker, pretty much. So, how did it feel killing Hitler? Oh, how did it feel? My brain isn't the world's oldest computer, but it's close. In the old days, I had to manually erase memories so it wouldn't slow down, seize up under the weight of all that history. I gave up my Medal of Honor and the memory of getting that Medal of Honor. I gave up good friends, good years, most memories of my brilliant father, Dr. Horton. For a while, I played the piano, but that had to go. That memory, though, I keep in full view, high definition. I go back to it again and again. It keeps me warm. And Captain America says, all right, enough. Stop reminiscing about the good old days. See, here we see this stronghold that is in charge by the Red Skulls. They are a neo-Nazi movement inspired by the Nazi super soldier Johann Schmidt, the Red Skull, that appropriated the tactics and iconography of the 1970s NYC officer turned vigilante Frank Castle. See Punisher, Summer of Frank. The Red Skulls are described as a hate group by Southern Poverty Law Center. Precise ideology is inconsistent and contradictory. Group is primary identity driven, but mostly focuses on terrorizing the weak and vulnerable. Castletown is the permanent home to approximately 1,500 men, women, and children, as well as the current Grand Skull, leader of the Red Skulls. So this is like a mix of Red Skull and the Punisher. And then the team goes in, but somebody chirps in their ear. It's Tony. Tony, you're supposed to be in surgery. You should be resting. It's not that bad. I don't have anesthesia. The Immortus engine is keeping me stable. So what are you doing out there, Steve? Well, I don't have time for you to get up to speed. You can just follow along the live events, but I'm in command here. I'm in charge. Steve's been taking control while Tony's been getting fixed, basically, while he was out of commission from dying, but it's only been like 3 issues so far. And now we find another piece of important information. Ruled out a frontal assault for the same reason that Stain and Stark never stormed these castles. And the same reason the council won't touch them. They brought their kids. The Ultimates are not baby killers. Whatever they say about us on the news, we can't take the risk. This is a stealth mission. You see Captain America stealthily take out these two. But we'll hop back into it. Yeah, this group is basically a mix of Frank Castle's ideology and Red Skull's ideology. They are neo-Nazis that stole the Punisher logo. I don't know what Frank is doing now. Oh, never mind. I forgot. He's in one of the other issues. I'm not going to play the flashback. I think he's in issue 2. They talk about his time as a vigilante. So that makes sense. I've totally forgot about him, honestly. But yeah, they kind of adopted some of his ideology. Giant Man and Wasp are perfect for this sort of operation on paper. Wasp is a natural, smart but not neurotic, confident but not cocky. The Pym particles give them both the ability to shrink and grow. However, Giant Man is another story. He's got a big heart, but it's just not in his kind of work. Hank is always second-guessing himself, hesitating when he shouldn't. It's going to get him killed one day, probably pretty soon. That is a constant with his normal 616 universe also. That's what led him to build Ultron, is him second-guessing himself and being self-conscious. But Hawkeye, he never hesitates. The trick is making sure they're pinpointed in the right direction. Their quiver fabricates noise-canceling knockout arrows that men don't even whisper as they fall. And Tony pipes in, the Red Skulls have nothing to do with the Council or the Maker. They're not a priority. What are you doing here? I've received information that connects the organization to Hand, and Nazis are always a priority. It's all one fight, Tony. Actually, it's thousands of them, and Tony is watching everybody. So on here, he's watching Jim Hammond, he's watching Giant Man and Wasp, he's watching Captain America, he's watching Spider-Man and the Goblin do whatever they're doing. I can't remember what they're doing in that specific issue. We'll go over it. He's watching the Ultimate X-Men. I haven't even read that. I heard it's good or bad. Depends on your point of view. And he's watching Black Panther. I like that this is in the point of Jim Hammond. It's pretty interesting. Steve doesn't argue. He never argues. Whenever possible, Captain America lets his actions answer for him. I stick to smolder, spewing suppressive smoke as we approach our target. Of course it's a priority, Tony. If you'd seen what we'd seen, you know it was a priority. But even so, seeing is no longer believing. Reality is so easily doctored now, nothing is what it seems. Everything can mean anything. The truth must be verified by hand. So here we are, fighting Nazis with laser guns. And the team be hopping in, fighting, shooting arrows. This team is, I like the team. It's pretty cool. They just going, it's just them versus the world, you know. It strikes my upgraded sense of humor as funny, but I don't laugh. And he says some things never change. And we see a flashback of Namor, Bucky, Captain America, and Jim Hammond with them. And I like that because it's not been touched by the maker yet. So all this stuff would happen as it normally does. But they break into the castle. According to what I found, it should be, oh snap, Namor is put up on display. He's the Submariner with a bunch of fish by him. The gang's all here. It's an invaders reunion. And the man that walks up is the Grand Skull, accessing the Ultnet. At least 5 different men have held the position of Grand Skull. 4 died violently. The civilian identity of the current Grand Skull is unknown to the public, perhaps even the larger organization itself. Jim goes up to Namor. It's him. It's really him. King Namor the Submariner. Yes, it is really him. Although I'm afraid he lost his infamous vigor. You weren't supposed to find out about him. I wasn't ready to see you yet. And Jim tries to access who this is. Voice recognition error, facial recognition error, biometric scan estimated 73, height 5'8", identity inconclusive. So we'll see who the Grand Skull is later, but that age is important, 73. Grand Skull says, "How is Tricks, Cap?" And by the way, he just looks like the Red Hood with his helmet, but I do like this one better than the Red Hood's suit, helmet, whatever. Red Hood be getting like the worst costumes ever. He gets the best and the worst. I don't know what they're doing with him. All right. Sorry, not DC. Captain America says, "Get him down here." And so Jim says, "How did you kill the Submariner?" I didn't really kill him. You see, the certificate of authenticity says his death was a political matter, an underwater coup of some time. The Mad King was overthrown according to Atlantean customs and executed according to Atlantean law, as were his many wives, aliases, and heirs. But the body became a holy site. Religion sprung around it like seaweed. Oppressed Atlanteans making pilgrimage and problems. The new regime down there didn't like it, so they exiled their former king after they killed him, which has to be some kind of first. It doesn't decay. You see, the worshippers say it isn't just the super dense tissue. They claim the ocean's microorganisms refuse to eat the body. That even dead, every living thing down there recognizes its rightful king. I wonder, I don't know the person that overthrew him. I don't know anything about the Atlanteans very much. The things people hold on to. It wasn't my idea to mount him, by the way. That was the last guy, a real collector, very into big game. But it turns out the corpse is a killer recruitment tool. The boys can't get enough of it. They practically piss themselves. And Jim tries listening to his voice. It isn't distorted, it's enhanced, braided with hypnotic suggestions at the frequency of human thought. Manufactured charisma. And Grand Skull goes on, "You know there's a lesson in there somewhere about symbols and their context. Down there, he's a miracle. Up here, he's a joke. The fish that never rots." And then this pisses off Jim. "I give the signal. I am the signal." So they all start to fighting. We move precisely, calmly, naturally, reinforcing strengths, compensating for weaknesses. We move like a finely tuned machine. So this is what Captain America's been doing. While he's been leading, he's been training them up so that they all work together, which is very cool. Compared to what Iron Man was doing, Iron Lad, whatever, Tony, kind of just using them, telling them like, "Hey, we got to do this." So that's a cool little thing if you pay attention to it. And then the Grand Skull runs away and Captain America gives chase. "I'm going to break open your skull, maybe more than one." And he says, "Now wait a minute. You can learn a lot from us, how we operate. I mean, we both preach violent revolution against the world government, but we've been at it a lot longer than you." And Cap says, "You're racist, thugs, murderers. We're nothing like you." You are right about that. We've got more money, better branding, and a much larger membership, though. We give them an enemy, a symbol. We give them something to believe in and something to die for. What do you give them? Here's one of our true believers. His name is John Walker. John's been a devoted follower of the Red Skull's content for years. Ever since he was a boy 16 months ago, he came to me with a metal box, a message from Tony Stark, and a vial of super soldier serum, asking me what to do. Do you know what I said? Kick their damn heads in, John. So John Walker, U.S. agent, takes the super soldier serum, and my boy is a weapon for the Red Skull gang. And Jim Hammond walks up, burns this dude's face off, and kills him instantly. So much for the super soldier serum. So Red Skull is like, that kind of sucks, and shoots a bullet. Captain America bounces it back with his shield. You are not the Red Skull. I killed Johann Schmidt over 75 years ago. Take that thing off and give up the charade. You're done. And it hits him into the face. And so Tony hacks this dude's helmet. Hey, Grand Skull, I'm transmitting directly into your helmet. In the last 20 minutes, I've scrubbed all known Red Skull content from the internet, crashed all related platforms, drained all your secret bank accounts. Yes, even that one. I just needed something to focus on. And this man says, good gravy. Looks like you got me, Captain America. I'm done. But like you, Captain America, I'm more than just a man. I'm a symbol. They don't die. They just come back differently. It was good to see you again, Steve. And he presses his teleporter button and teleports away. So I assume this man is going to come back as the Winter Soldier or something. Because, spoiler alert, this is Bucky. Hence why he knows his name and why Captain America looked at him all weird. So Jim Hammond and Captain America take Namor's body and throw it back into the ocean. The funeral was small for a king. Of those present, only Steve and I really knew him. Not much was said, but that much was true. He fought like hell and he was our brother as much as any man in Arlington. But the ocean was his only country. That's where he belongs. So now we give the sea back her king. May he inspire a revolution even in death. And so now we have a private thought from Jim Hammond. This is kind of long. I'm going to get into it. I'm so sorry. I am thinking about death, mainly my own. I am standing in the antiseptic darkness of the Triskelion satellite hours after Namor's funeral, trying to remember how I died. 1 minute, I remember I am walking down Avenue A in the bright light of 1948. Next, I'm waking up in a warehouse in 2024. In between, there's nothing and a new world. I'm looking out a window 1,200 miles down from Earth. It's night in North America, and on its surface, a million pricks of man-made light blink in the darkness, like single fires. I wonder, not for the first time, what happened to me in 1948? How did I get here? Who can I trust? I feel disturbed. The details of my death have been manually deleted. The Maker leaves us nothing, not even our own minds. All he leaves us are questions about answers. I remember, it is 1939 and I'm standing in a vacuum tube. Dr. Horton tries to speak to me through the glass, but the sound does not carry. I watch his mouth move silently for days, trying to understand. The first word I hear my creator speak is, "Behold!" I immediately burst into flames. I realize I have not slept since my rebirth. I no longer need to. In the warehouse, I slept for 76 years, 3 months, 12 days, 10 hours, 34 minutes, and 17 seconds. I will never sleep again. Instead, I explore. While others rest, make love, or pretend to live their lives, I turn my mind into a narrow stream of electrons and swim through the sum total of human knowledge. At 98% the speed of light, I move between wire server satellites. I marvel at what I find out there. Love letters and death threats, videos of kittens and executions, the best and the worst of people. I think the internet is mankind's shadow made of light. I bring up the photos I found of the Red Skull social network. In the photos, obviously intoxicated young men hold Namor's corpse over their head like a trophy. I cannot stop thinking about what the Grand Skull said about symbols and their reoccurrence. In my nightmare explorations, I've collected dozens of newspaper clippings, blurry photographs, second and third-hand accounts from the 1950s, 60s, and 70s, all containing claims of a flying man on fire. I ask myself, not for the first time though, what does it all mean? Have there been others like me? Are they also locked in a warehouse somewhere, waiting to be rekindled? Is it some scam I don't understand? Or is the world trying to light the fire of its own liberation? I am on fire, with questions without answers. End private log. Yeah, that was an intense one. So basically, this guy's going through an existential crisis. And so now Jim notices Captain America, not so much that he's just being weird, he kind of just goes and checks on him. Steve hasn't slept or spoken since the funeral. He just sits in his room without the light burning all night. As a result of my cognitive upgrade, I've gotten much better at reading human emotions. I now recognize that Steve is deeply troubled. As am I. But why? It's not just Namor. It's something the Grand Skull said. Not the mind-controlled dislocation or what it was hiding. It was something familiar instead. And now Jim Hammond gets a voice match. 90% voice match found. James Buchanan Barnes. And he picks up from when the helmet didn't have the modulator. And then they both realize that it's Bucky under the mask. 8 months remain. Yeah, this is probably the longest Ultimates video. But yeah, so essentially from this, Bucky's alive. He most likely will become the Winter Soldier. As he said, he'll come back. Yeah, I assume the Ultimate Universe is not ending after Ultimate Endgame. It's kind of just going to get a little bit revamped, or they're going to edit it in some way. So I'm going to guess that he's going to come back. Yeah, it's pretty nuts. So thank you for watching, commenting, and subscribing. Yeah, peace out.